Good morning, everybody. I am making some ink samples to send to some of my pen pals, and I've had a couple people ask how I make my samples, so I thought I would show you. This is a kit of, looks like 36 vials that I got off of Amazon. They come in this little holder. They make it pretty handy to store them so they don't go flying all over the place or get squished amongst other things in the drawers. And you'll need a pipette and some paper towel down so that you don't make a mess, and your ink and some Parafilm. This is a giant container that I got off of Amazon. It's a 38-meter roll, and it comes out like this on wax paper, and you just cut off a strip. It's not adhesive, it only clings to itself, but it stretches and it forms this seal around the top of it to help prevent leaks. It will not prevent leaks all by itself. You still have to buy good quality ink sample vials. And what you're looking for is an ink sample vial that's got the O-ring inside. You can see that black thing. Some of them do not have that, and that's how leaks happen. I also typically look for flat tops, not the kind with the dimple, because the kind with the dimple can have issues with air pressure, and if you are sending a sample to somebody through the mail and it has to get on an airplane, that can cause problems and leakages. So I usually will fill in this rack because it keeps things nice and stable. So you get your ink. If it's a shimmer ink, you're going to want to agitate it very well so that you make sure you get some of the glitter in your sample vial. Let me scooch this to the side a little bit. And then on a firm surface, so you're not trying to work like I am, meaning keeping things in frame and paying attention to that more than my actual ink draw. Typically, I will send about 2 to 3 milliliters of ink to somebody because most fountain pens will hold about that much. And I want to send enough ink so that somebody can fill their fountain pen and not just make a swatch. And that's usually about 3 of these pipette draws or so. Maybe a little bit more. That's only 2. I'll do 1 more. I'll try to get every last drop out of there because ink is precious gold. All right. I'm trying to keep my hands as neat as possible because I have to go to work soon. I usually keep the pipette in the jar until I have finished making the samples because you can reuse the pipette as long as you're not going between jars of ink. If I'm doing multiple of this one jar, I can use the same pipette without worrying about contaminating anything. You don't want to contaminate your ink because mold can grow. I've never had that happen to me, but I'm also really hygienic when it comes to this stuff. So that's just under 3 milliliters of ink, which is a little bit more than what someone would need to fill up most fountain pens, so that should give them an ample amount to swatch as well. So the Parafilm comes with a wax paper backing. Sometimes the act of cutting a strip off crimps the edges together and it doesn't want to come off. There's 0 adhesive to this, but it does crimp it together. If it doesn't want to come off, I got mine off. What you can do is just start a little tear, and you can see the wax paper tears, but the Parafilm underneath doesn't. It stretches a little bit, but it gives you enough of a handhold that, oh my gosh, you can get it off. All right, so that's that. See, it's not sticky at all. I usually work with the cap in my left hand because I am right hand dominant. So I'm going to anchor this not sticky but stretchy material while holding the cap underneath my thumb. And that gives me purchase to stretch with this hand while holding it taut with this hand and keeping the ink sample stable. And then I just step it and stretch it all the way around until I have used the sample of Parafilm. probably a little more than is necessary for secure transport, but I'm neurotic because I have had not only received some ink that leaked, but I've also sent ink that leaked, and I felt terrible. So I make sure that the top is on tight before I do this and after, and I have a nice strong seal of parafilm around there. I'm going to put a label on this that says diamine canal side, because that's what this is, and then this will be ready to go. I will ship these up by ship these out by putting them in another Ziploc bag, so layers and layers of protection, and then I'll pack that in a box with some appropriate packing material and ship it off to my pen pal, and they will get some ink samples, hopefully undamaged and undisturbed and ready for their use. So that's about it. That's how I make ink samples. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, please give it a like and a subscribe so that I can help grow this fan base. And as always, take care of yourself and take care of each other. Have a great day.